Right, we begin with breaking news that's just come in. We understand that there's been a break-in into the office of Joburg Mayor Herman Mashaba in Johannesburg. Important documents have reportedly been stolen. We'll bring you a bit more detail on that story as that story develops. Now, investigations are still underway into the cause of the crash on the N11 in Mpumalanga last night. The accident happened between Middelburg and Hendrina. It involved a minibus taxi and an articulated truck. 9 people were killed in the horrific head-on crash. 8 of the deceased are believed to have been employees at a local mine. The victims were burnt beyond recognition. Both the drivers, though, sustained minor injuries and were admitted to hospital. Motorists have been urged to be extra cautious. Earlier, I spoke on the phone to Mpumalanga's Safety Liaison Officer, Mmusi Moeti, about any further developments as the cause of the crash.
All we know at this stage is that one of the vehicles that was involved was attempting to overtake at the time of the crash when it was not safe to do so. But still, the crash investigating experts, those who are able to reconstruct the crash scenes from Road Traffic Management Corporation, RTMC, along with safety and security, safety engineering officers from our department, are currently at the scene on N11 to reconstruct that scene in order to determine what could have gone wrong on that road. We do not know at this stage, but we are aware that 9 people were killed when an articulated truck as well as a minibus taxi collided head-on. The police will further look into cases of culpable homicide to be investigated on the part of both drivers, since both of them survived, escaping with slight injuries.
Is there a problem with that stretch of the road, or is this just, problem driving? What do you think is going on?
As we have always maintained, most of these deadly crashes, they are attributable to human error. With head-on collisions, you'd remember that one of the drivers is likely on the side of the road where he's not supposed to be. Those are some of the things that the police will be looking into. But that stretch of the road has recorded several deadly crashes, even since December last year. You'd remember very recently there was a head-on collision that involved a truck on the very same road, but towards Loskop Dam, where 4 people died who were traveling from the Eastern Cape for religious purposes to Maria in Limpopo. And there was another LDV crash there that happened there where 4 people also died. So it's a problematic road such that the MEC for Community Security Liaison, Ms. Gabisile Tshabalala, had stated in his policy and budget speech that it is among those routes that will receive heightened attention from a law enforcement perspective in the current financial year.
What does heightened perspective mean? What kind of interventions are we likely to see? Are we going to see more police on the roadsides and patrolling up and down? What are we going to see?
Yes, we will try and deploy traffic law enforcement officers on that road, particularly during peak holiday seasons. N11 will receive heightened attention in that regard. And there'll also be more police visibility, like I said, during the holidays on that road and other routes that the MEC identified during her policy and budget speech. These roads were identified due to the high number of crashes and fatalities that were contributed by those roads during the previous holiday seasons.
All right, and perhaps finally, your message to motorists.
We are once again appealing to motorists to use the road with as much cautiously as possible so that we avoid further tragedies. Because you remember the people who died yesterday, all 9 of them, they were interns who were to resume work at one of the mines near Middelburg. So it is very sad indeed because they died just before they could assume their newly found jobs.